Hello everyone, I'm here to present SmarterQueue, which is a social media scheduling tool. I'm looking for feedback on the onboarding process, which I'm going to show you through. I'm looking for feedback on this landing page, which we are working on literally this week, and Rod here in the audience has been doing some of the designs in his evenings after school. Yes, he's 17. And then I will ask you for some feedback about some of the features and then pricing plans as well. So jumping in straight away, can I ask who here is familiar with or has heard of Hootsuite? Buffer? Edgar? No, I didn't think so. And does anyone currently use them for their own businesses? All right, very few of you. OK, so the tool does the same thing as pretty much Buffer, which I'm going to go with at the moment, but with a lot of improvements. The main one being a visual calendar, categorized systems, and recycling your evergreen content. So you can visually create a calendar with categories on screen, drag and drop where they are, that says, I want an article at Mondays at 6 o'clock, a photo every day at 7, an inspirational article at 6 p.m. So we let businesses focus on running their business when the social media is being handled by the tool itself. We can also recycle posts. So as soon as a post has gone out, it'll get pushed to the bottom of your queue, ready to go out for a whole new audience again, which means more engagement for you. And then one of the biggest features we have is a content curation tool, which I'll show you through, that's kind of like Feedly or Pinterest. You can browse Twitter, you can browse Facebook, get ideas based on hashtag, or you can find user content from a specific user, look at their content from Twitter, and then share it yourself. So it's a great way of finding content for your own posts. And the category system is a visual calendar that lets you decide what kind of posts to post when, so you don't have to worry about scheduling or the ratio of your content or deciding, I've got too many things in the same time going out. So if I jump you through the onboarding, this is what I actually want to ask you through. So have a think about, would you get annoyed at any point in this, and does it seem clear to you? So once you've connected with an email, you can add a Facebook page, and it'll ask which one you want to connect of those. So I'm going to pick Portfora, which is what I happened to demo last year. So that's been added. I'm now going to connect a Twitter account. It's asking me to log in. And now we are connected. I don't like Twitter very much at the moment. I'm good with those two accounts, so I'm going to click on the nice next button at the top. Now it's telling me that categories are useful and showing me a little tip about no more than 20% of your posts should be self-promotional. So I'm happy with that. You can just about see on screen. Now, one shortcut is to give people some suggested categories to start with, or let them create their own from scratch. So most people will just go, well, I don't care, that looks fine to me, because these are the most common ones. So click the button, and they've got a handful of categories. They can edit them if they want. They can change colors. They can choose, all right, I don't want to use this category for that account, so they can turn different accounts on and off. If we're happy with that, I'm going to go through to the next step, which is creating a schedule. If I can hit the button. All right, here's where I have a bit of a tour. Now, this is slightly more involved than other tools because you do actually have to create a schedule of what you want to be posted and when. So I want people not to skip this, but give them the option in case they really just don't want to. I explain off screen that this table shows you how many time slots you have for each account and each category. I explain that if you don't have any, it'll show up as red, and anything you queue up won't go out to that account. And then to add time slots for one account, you can click on a cell, or to add time slots for all accounts, click on the category name. So we're going to create a time slot in the calendar, and we want it to go out there, 8:45. It's telling me I can add a couple more, and if I'm happy with that, it's now showing me I've got on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, one time slot for each of my accounts, and recommending how many I should have. Click next on that. It says I can carry on adding time slots, or click on the button at the top when I'm done. So I'm going to add a couple for just one more. I'm done with that, so I'm going to click next. And the last scene is now, do I want to add some content, fill up my queue with content? And you can either manually write a post, which is fine if you know what you're going to be posting. You can use the bookmarklet, which means you can share any content from any page that you're on. Or you can use the importer, which is something that is effectively the content curation tool. So this importer lets you look up Twitter users, people you follow, do any search. You can also look up Facebook, or if you've got an RSS feed. So and you can save those sources. So I'm going to look at an RSS feed for one of my other websites. This shows a load of links that I can individually share content for, or I can bulk import all of those. And the point of this is a really quick way of filling your queue so that you can get up and running. Now, one great thing that we wanted to do is to help people migrate from other tools. So the previous step, which asked you to click on your calendar for everywhere you want to find, everywhere you want to schedule a post, I want to shortcut that. So this is the times that Unicorn Hunt has been posting to their social media. So you can see they've been using a scheduling tool to post every hour from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day of the week. So with that data, I can create the schedule automatically for them so that they don't have to click through the previous screen on all the times and days that they want content. Then the next step will be to show them all of the posts that they've already posted, and they can filter that content. So this is a 3Beards Twitter feed, looking for anything containing caption and that has a link. And I don't want retweets or replies. So from all of this content, I can go and share one. Or if all of this happens to be great evergreen content that they want to post a lot of, they can say, right, all of that looks great. I want to post it to my Twitter feed. I want all links to go out initially, use Bitly where possible, get rid of any UTM tracking codes that other tools may have added, and then add my own. And if we click to queue those up, it says it's going to take about 12 seconds. Fingers crossed, it's faster than that because I've sped things up. And now let's have a look at our queue. And it has brought in tweets with the attachment of the image. Even if the original tweets didn't have an image, we have gone and fetched one from the link. So this happens to be something that they didn't share themselves. And I think we can do better than that. So let's go back, remove that photo, and it's showing us all the images that were available on the page. So let's pick a better one that represents that. And I also don't care for all of the buffer tracking codes that have gone in there. So I'm going to remove those and make it a new Bitly link and add my own. And if we save that now, the Twitter status is too long. There we go. Let's just give me a few seconds. Get rid of some of that. And voila, we have a new Bitly link with all of our nice tracking codes and got rid of all the buffer rubbish. So this is a really quick way to get people into the tool, up and running, and then a much better way for them to schedule their content. So any feedback on the onboarding flow, on any of the features, and what price point you think that may want to sell at? Thank you very much.
Who's got the first question for me?
I would maybe recommend some kind of video tutorial that you could pop as part of that onboarding, because I'm really excited. I know this could save me time, but it was really hard. There was a lot of clicks and buttons going on there.
Was the hard part the setting up the schedule and adding the content?
I think, yeah, I felt like I didn't get to share, like pick a post I was going to share for quite a while.
Yeah.
I needed to say I was going to do that sooner.
Okay.
And then have all the awesome tools for adding loads of clever stuff after that.
Thank you.
Andrew, you've already asked one, so I'm going to share the live.
I've got two questions, actually both related to Instagram. The first is, would you be able to schedule Instagram posts from a PC as opposed to from a mobile or from a laptop?
The closest we can do with permission from Instagram is let you set them up from the desktop, from the web, and it'll send a push notification to your phone with the photo and the caption attached so that you can then click on the Instagram button and hit post. But there is no official Instagram API to let you post natively.
We use Schedulogram.
Yes, they're illegal. Instagram could shut them down at any point. Sorry to say it. I'd love to do that, but I'm already in trouble with Twitter for trying to do things normally, and Instagram don't even allow it. So you're risking your account by using it. In fact, I looked at your Instagram yesterday, and it didn't seem to be online. I don't know if that's related.
The second...
Sorry, second question.
The second question is, do you have any analytics of your own, especially for Instagram? Because after Iconosquare became paid, there's no really good free tools, analytic tools for Instagram.
Yes, so we are planning to do a lot with analytics. So we're just going to build them out soon, but the importer that we saw is going to be the basis of our analytics. So you're going to be able to sort any feed by engagement. So I'll be able to see all of the content, filter by keyword, and then we can see here how many likes and retweets it had, and you'll be able to sort and say, show me what got most engagement. And then within your analytics as well, I don't think I have any really visible. Here we go. So we can see how many likes, comments, shares, and views something had, and then that can be sorted by engagement. So we can see, okay, this was my most engaged content, and I'll be able to bulk reshare those or do any analytics with that. So yeah, I am planning a lot of analytics for as many platforms as possible.
Okay. Andrew, I'm going to pass this across.
Hi. Yeah, I just build the intro in a completely different way. I think what you're trying to do is take users from 0 to 100 miles an hour in half a second. And what I would do is I would give them baby steps so they get instant productivity and then learn the tools slowly as they go up. Like playing a computer game, it takes you to level 14 before you get the really big baddie. So one of the things you might want to do is just automatically color content according to what you think it is, which I think would be really helpful, and then give them feedback saying, hey, articles tend to get read, I don't know, at 7 p.m. when everyone's sitting in front of the telly rather than checking a picture on the bus because they've only got 5 seconds, right? And use that kind of micro-learning, micro-productivity benefits to scale people's experience of the tool rather than just relying on them to just power straight through this UX right at the beginning.
I'm glad I kind of showed you this version now. So in the next week, we're planning to shortcut a lot of it, and I wanted feedback on the current flow because I know it's flawed. Ideally, I want to cut it down to connect your accounts. We'll automatically create some categories for you. We'll look at your accounts and automatically create a schedule based on your posting history, and we will give you the opportunity to pull in content that you may want to reuse. So hopefully it'll come down to 5 minutes and you'll have a full queue ready for you. Because I know this is painful as it stands. And it does get you to use the tool with its full potential, but it is quite painful.
Hi. So it might be an obvious question, but have you got the capability to respond and engage and get involved in those conversations from that dashboard?
We're not putting in live monitoring at the moment, so you'd have to pull. So you'd be able to set up a source, which is your hashtag or your @mention, and you'll be able to dip in and see what responses have been to it. We do want to build out some sort of response and engagement and mention and conversation feature, because I know that's a huge part of social media. It's not just pushing out. But in this first iteration, we've just focused on being a scheduling tool, and then the engagement will come after that. Does that solve what you were after?
Yeah, kind of. I think to me, it just sounds one way. For me, I think there does need to be the ability to respond, because I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, your copy at the front is like increase your engagement with 0 effort or something. But if there's no engagement actually in here, it's kind of misleading.
The premise is by posting content, people will engage with it. So the more you post, the more engagement you get. There's proof for that. I know that I wanted the tool to let you also engage yourself, and that's the missing piece. So Buffer, for example, has for 6 years been a push-only tool, and they've bought Respondly to be able to offer the engagement side as well.
So firstly, great product. One of the biggest challenges that I have is finding lots of content that's relevant and interesting and targeted. One thought, you were asking about business model, and I was pulling out chairs for people, so I might have missed it if you said it. But one thing I'd really suggest doing, it's super feature-rich right now.
Yep.
It's the standard thing of withholding certain features, but I think you definitely want to have a freemium model so people can see the value of it, because I can clearly see it from everything you've just demoed. But there are certain features that I wouldn't think were vital until I'd tried it and realised what I was missing.
So I used to think freemium, and I got converted against it when another tool, Edgar, that I mentioned, launched. So Buffer has 2 million users, 1.4% of them pay, which is a bit crappy to be supporting 2 million users free riding. Edgar has 2,000 users, all of them pay $50 a month, and they're making a quarter of what Buffer makes within their first year. Which would you rather go after? So a 14-day free trial is my solution. Let people try it, kick the tires, and then I don't have to support them if they aren't actually going to become a customer.
Is your target businesses?
Primarily small businesses, yeah.
One thought there, if it's only 14 days, often getting something approved just from a 14-day trial might not work. I'm saying this as someone who works with startups but works for UCL, so it's slightly more difficult getting things approved.
Would 30-day work better?
It could do. I would just explore that.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Two things. One thing with the trial time as well. For a small business, 2 weeks is quite a short time to really see an improvement in your engagement.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you say you choose the posting times depending on when you have posted before.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on having anything to suggest when to post depending on your audience?
Yes. So one way we can do it is just give them a wizard that lets them pick, I want to post 20 times a day in this ratio, and we'll suggest stuff. The one that most people see in Follower One Can Buffer is an optimal timing tool, and I want to build one of these, except most of them are lies. They look at when your followers have been posting, except most people are using scheduling tools, and they're not actually reading tweets. So knowing when they're scheduling posts doesn't help you reach their eyeballs. So I want to try and get at the real Twitter data is when did they actually click the like and retweet button. And if I can get that, then I can give you an accurate optimal timing tool.
Thank you so much, Claude. That's all we have time
Thank
for.
you for all the
Big round of
feedback.
applause.